Hello, this is Will Faerber from Art to Ride, and today we're looking at a submission by Joan of the horse Legend. He's already developing a nice swinging walk here to start off with. And he stretches a little deeper. There we go, like that. Notice as this horse stretches deeper in just a moment how much more he tracks over the track of the front foot with his hind legs, and they become more active there, like that. We see how the hind leg, the longer the horse stretches, the more loose the hind end becomes and is able to swing further underneath the body. That's what it means to go forward. You've all heard the term forward. Well, forward doesn't mean running straight forward. It means to engage forward under the body. Little misconception there that I hope that clears up. So a horse that's running away is not forward. It's only a horse that you can contain the energy of the forward movement and direct it into movement. That's a forward horse that is tracking forward under the body, carrying the rider. That's what it means to be forward. This is a good swinging walk here. Joan's doing a good job of keeping consistent contact. Really good active walk right there, all the way down there. Very good work. Very good swinging walk right there. Look how you can see the horse almost looks like a ball rolling over the ground. Now you can see behind the saddle here that this horse has not been very well developed over its life. Joan is just beginning with this horse, and she's doing a wonderful job of getting him working over his top line. So what we'll see in subsequent videos is how that hole back there will fill up, which you all should be watching on your horses. That is the dip behind the saddle there. As the horse develops and the withers pull up through the shoulders, that will flatten out. Not a bad transition into the trot work there, and just about what I would expect for him at this level. But already he's going into a nice swinging trot, stretching into the contact. That's very good and about the right rhythm for him right there. Now you can see that this horse is still is not thrusting up through his back. He's not lifting off the ground much, but he's getting in a position that will allow him to do that eventually. So remember once again that a good dressage rider is like a chess player. We're thinking long term. What's this going to turn into? In other words, if I keep doing it. And of course, what the answer to that is the withers are going to pull up through the shoulder. The back is going to flatten. You're going to see that hole disappear behind the saddle there, and the horse is going to start thrusting off the ground. The thrust is the degree to which the horse pushes off the ground and lifts the rider into the air. But you have to have some muscles in order to do that. And this is how you develop them. Very nice right there. That's about right for this horse right there. Joan's doing a wonderful job of staying balanced above the horse. And notice that she has a direct line through her elbow to the mouth of the horse. And that's what we're looking for ultimately. Not for our hands to be too high, not too low, but just to find that line that allows us to keep that direct line from our elbow through our hands to the horse's mouth. Nice downward transition. Didn't lose any rhythm there. Horse stepped right into it. That's just what we're looking for once again. There, very nice. There's a big swinging walk right there. You know, and especially with young horses and with nervous horses, these kind of things where we don't want them to get fit too fast. We can do a lot of walk work with horses. We can develop a horse to a pretty high degree, actually, just keeping them in a walk, which we have to do sometimes when we rehab horses that have had injuries and these sort of things. But if you get them working over their backs in the walk, they will develop considerably without ever going into a trot. Good swinging walk right there. And you can see every time he just comes above a little bit, she sends him forward from her leg, and he responds to that and moves right forward. It's very good. Joan is in our associate trainer program, is that she is working with us on a regular basis, both at clinics in Ohio where she is, and she'll be coming out here in November to visit us in California and spend some time with us. So if any of you are in the Ohio area, Cleveland, Ohio area, she's in the Chagrin Falls area. She does take students in training and horses in training there, and she will be working with us on a regular basis. Good, a very nice leg yield from the wall. Notice how the shoulder is in advance slightly, which is what we want. If we let the hindquarters come into advance, we have a good chance of the horse hitting its legs together. So that's why it's so important that we lead slightly with the shoulder in the leg yield. That was very nicely done and achieved a rounder horse through it. So remember, when we do any lateral exercise, the horse is going to step deep underneath its body. That is, has to reach under it. And when your lateral work feels correct, you'll actually feel yourself lifted on that seat bone, on the inside seat bone. Remember, when we say inside, that always means the side around which the horse is bent, no matter which way we're going in the ring. Just as she did there, as she changed the bend before she did that leg yield away from the wall. Now, in most cases, I'd like to see the leg yield go from the center line first. My order of go, so to speak, would be down the center line, leg yielding to the outside, and then after we can leg yield from the inside to the outside, then we can leg yield from the outside to the inside. With most horses, it's easier to go from the inside to outside. Though not all, there's always an exception to that rule. Good swinging walk here. This is very good. Very good swinging active walk. She's maintaining a good contact. Very, very good. Just like that. And once again, very good transition into the trot. And notice that she didn't try to keep the horse in any particular position. She just sent the horse forward into a trot. So always remember that we have to get the horse really consistent in the position in the gaits before we start trying to go between the gaits and asking the horse to maintain that. So in the beginning with horses, it's best just to put your leg on, send them forward. If they come up a little bit, no problem, just ask them to soften. Too many people with young horses get hung up on making transitions perfect when the horse can't even stay on the bridle perfectly. So that's going to lead to a lot of frustration on the part of the horse because you're asking it once again simply do something it can't. So again, this is a good stretch in the trot, a good active trot for this horse. And once again, we can see that this horse doesn't have a lot of thrust, that is, it's not pushing off the ground very much. I wouldn't expect it to at this level. But something to think about as you watch subsequent videos of this same horse. So we're looking for the horse to begin to thrust and push up through its back, but we have to develop some back in order for that to happen. Good. Every time he comes up, she just softens him right back down again. Now, while this trot looks a little quick right now, that's okay since the horse is rather flat through the back. We have to just get the horse active enough to get working through the back. And what we see is, very often with horses that move in that flat kind of manner, what we see is in a little while they begin to slow down. When they begin to push off the ground a little more and lift up the rider a little more through the back, we find that they will just slow down. Then we will get what we ultimately want, which is a slower, deeper trot. But this is very good for this horse at this level. This is exactly where I'd want him to work. Every time he comes up, she just softens him right back into the contact. And notice how beautifully rhythmic the horse is. That's the thing I want you all to watch all the time is, do horses maintain rhythm? So if you're constantly losing the rhythm of the horse, it should tell you you're losing the gymnastic quality of the exercise. Once again, a nice downwards transition. She took her time. Her seat didn't go into the saddle until the horse came back to a walk, which is what we want. We don't want to be doing sliding stops. So many people in dressage think that they have to sit and drive their weight down into the horse. Nothing could be further from the truth. We want to keep our seat very light until the horse is able to maintain that contact with her seat and keep us lifted through the downwards transitions, which a horse like this who hasn't developed a whole lot of strength across his top line is not going to be able to do. So let's not frustrate the horse by asking them things that they can't do. When you see trainers fighting with horses, it should show you right away that they really don't understand how horses develop. You can fight horses into a frame, but it's never going to be a good one. And you will see a great deal of resistance. So when horses are trained correctly, you really don't encounter much resistance. Horses are usually pretty happy to do the work. Another lateral work here. Once again, I would have liked to have seen these lateral works start from the center to the outside to start with, but this was not bad. Lost a little rhythm in it as it went, but that's okay as we teach the horse something. We just got to be sure that every time that we do, we come back and reestablish, as she's doing here, that forward swing in the walk. So it's perfectly fine to ask things that are more difficult. Just don't keep hammering away at the horse that it doesn't get it perfectly. In other words, ask for a lot, be satisfied for a little, and reward often, in the immortal words of Capitaine Boudon. who, if none of you have ever read his book, it's a rather interesting one, from the late 1800s, called Exterior et Auticole, Outdoor and Indoor Riding. It's a very interesting history. Beautiful walk again here. So stretching into the contact. That's good. I love how each time that she does some trot work, she comes back and reestablishes this walk, which you can never go wrong doing that. Now, once again, I just like to see these leg yields start from the center line to the outside, though this was a much better one this time. The rhythm maintained better. But for young horses, it can be rather difficult for them to get that idea of moving off of the wall, since the centrifugal force tends to take them out. It's harder for them. But that was really good, and she achieved that quite nice and much better than the first time around. So that was very good. Now notice how the walk is slowed down here. We're looking forward to get it swinging a little more active again. There we go, just like that. So great work with this horse. I know I saw this horse some months back when I was in Cleveland, and he's already developed a great deal since I saw him there. Joan's done a wonderful job with him. So if any of you are in the Cleveland area and are looking for somebody to work with, I highly recommend Joan. If you email me, I'd be happy to send her information on along to you. Great job. Looking forward to great things out of her. Will Faerber from Art to Ride. See you next time.